there, I'm Rena. I'm the Slow Knitter from Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome to episode, I think this is episode 30. Wow. And the name of this episode, well, it has several names. So I'm toying around with a name that is, let's see, shawl fatigue. Think I have a little shawl fatigue? Look what I'm wearing. I'll stand up in a minute after I get through all of my details. Hi, let's see. I am the Slow Knitter. You can find me on Instagram, on Facebook as a Slow Knitter, and on Ravelry, I'm the Slow Knitter ATL. I have to move back, I'm too close. I'm the Slow Knitter ATL on Ravelry, and I have a Slow Knitter ATL podcast group, so drop in and come join our knit-alongs. We have a couple going on right now. Anyway, welcome. I've been busy. We're back in Atlanta now. Last time I podcast, we were down at our beach house near Destin, Florida. And now we're here. I'm moving the microphone a little closer. Now we're back here. We've been back here for a few weeks, preparing to take the house off the market. Our house has been on the market for almost a year. And we have also house showing fatigue. It doesn't seem to be going, so we think, rather than just continue and let it linger on the market, let's take it off the market and we'll put it back on next year. Maybe not. I don't know. Sort of toying with it's a lot of work to put a house on the market and get it ready for showings and stuff. And we haven't had a lot of traffic, and who knows why. We get some feedback that's we don't really understand, so maybe we should just give it a rest right now. But let's talk about knitting. This is a knitting podcast. I'm going to talk about what I've finished, my FOs, what I'm working on, and what new acquisitions I've purchased. I've saved up a lot of them for you. Anyway, this is why I have shawl fatigue. But I loved the experience of making it. And this is the Helen Stewart Impressionist Shawl. Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. She designed the Impressionist Shawl. Many of you know she had a mystery knit along during the month of April. And this is a much bigger shawl than I'm used to knitting. And it's done. And it's been hanging on my dress form, which is really a statue in my office. You can see her in the corner there. She Who Must Be Obeyed is her name. It's just a piece of art I've had with me for 25 years. And now she lives with me in my knit cave. But this is I'm going to stand up because I think this is the only way I can wear it. I actually have it wrapped around my waist and tied in the back. It's bloody huge. You can see, it sort of looks good like this. Don't you see? See this pink? This is Knit Styles. Knit Styles, and the green is from Silver Thread and Golden Needles Yarn Shop up in Franklin, North Carolina. And this blue color is La Bien-Aimée in the Littoral colorway. I loved making this. First of all, the fading, the lace, it was just a joy to work on. I just can't say enough about it. I just loved it. It just took forever, and it took my mojo away from making anything else. So I am not a monogamous knitter. I am a, what's over there? Let's sit there. Listen, I usually have 3 or 4 projects going on at one time. I have way too many whips that are languishing, that I've made the commitment that I would, every time I started a new project, that I would also attempt to finish a whip. I'm still working on that. I'm closer to finishing a long-standing whip, which I can't wait to finish because I know I will love it. But this shawl really took my attention away from a lot of other things that I was working on. And I think it did for everyone who was working on it. There were people that I was fairly monogamous on this, which is very unusual for me. But anyway, I love it. It's just, this is the only way I can figure out how to wear it. Otherwise, it's just, it's wrapped around my waist. I'll move back a little, and you can see it's wrapped around my waist and actually tied in the back. It's pretty huge. it's big, but this is a really comfortable way to wear it. Not today, since it's like 90 degrees in Atlanta, but I'm in my cool, air-conditioned knit cave, so I'm not uncomfortable wearing it, and my arms are free. I'm just, you know, this is the way I might wear this thing. Because even when I put it on another way, it's so big, it's almost, and I cut out like the last 10 rows. Once I saw what the final clue was and where I could make it work better for me, I just cut out the last 10 rows. It was, I don't know, I didn't see the point. And I didn't do picot edge bind off. I did I-cord bind off, which I like, which I prefer and like better. So I was happy with it. I'm happy with my colors. These aren't usually my colors, but I seem to be gravitating towards pink, and I'll show you some other pinky stuff that I seem to, I don't know why, but I am. Anyway, so finished product, not modeled by my spiky piece of art back there. She's spiky. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I just have a hard time knowing how else to wear it. I mean, if I take it off and even wrap it around here, that's fine, but then I have this sort of dangling. So I guess I would possibility wrapping it around again. I don't know. I mean, there probably is lots of different ways to wear this, and even this looks nice. I think it won't. I think I would have to wear shawl pins for it to stay. But you know, it's just so beautiful, and I just love the variety that she gave us in making this. And she's such a brilliant pattern writer and designer that I'm a big fan. I'm a Helen Stewart fan. This is the, I don't know, I've done a few. I've done a couple of them. I love her work. And I love the variety she puts into it, you know, with lace and colors and stuff. So it's pretty big. It's pretty big. I was talking to Ellie of Skein Dare, and she said she had to sort of edit the design a little bit so that she could make her own impressionist shawl, because she doesn't like crescent shape. She never knows what to do with these long ends at the end. And I get it, and I think this was a good lesson for me for the right shape. So something that big, I would have to almost like make almost a garment out of it, like wrap it around and tie it, and wear it like that rather than wear it a traditional shell way. But that's not what, I'm so happy that I have FOs to share, because I think the last few podcasts I really didn't have FOs to share. Maybe the last one I didn't, I had a hoe. But now, transition, I have an FO. So I finished the other sock. I was making a pair of socks, and I finished the sock. I was so distracted by knitting the shawl that I would break it up by coming back to these socks and knitting these socks, that I didn't do a good job. I did not do a good job on these socks. First of all, one is longer than the other. Okay, that's not right. Second of all, German short row heel, bomb, fail, lot of fixing. I just was not paying attention. And I love the yarn, and I love how it blocked out. So these will join my group of meditation socks that I have, because I don't really wear socks that often. I just like the art of making them. But you can see that one is bigger than the other. I was not paying attention at all. But anyway, I love the color. It's Yarn Ink from Canada. Lisa from Yarn Ink. Beautiful colorway. Bought a set. It was this yarn. And I think I started in February or March, and I started it because it was a spring-like. We had not a great winter. It was too cold, and anything that was bright and cheerful, I was like, oh, I'm attracted to it. But woman, make the socks the same size. That would be helpful. Yeah, but anyway, that's an FO though. Good meditation wearing socks when your feet get cold, right? I'm so happy with this. Now, I talked to you about in my last podcast that I was working with cotton yarn, because I'm new to cotton yarn, plant-based fiber. Not new, but new-ish. And I purchased Quince & Co. Willet is their what they call cleaner cotton fiber, plant-based fiber. And it was recommended to me at when I went to the Ann Bud Knit for Fun retreat back in April. So I bought it, and there was a Melanie Berg pattern associated with it. So Melanie Berg designed the shawl with the Willet cotton yarn in mind. I mean, I think she was commissioned obviously by Quince & Co. I don't know how that works, something like that. Anyway, so I finished a shawl. That's why this title, I think sort of liking the title of this podcast, Shawl Fatigue. But I keep going. I keep knitting them because I love to knit shawls. I think I just like the challenge of them. I haven't quite decided what the right shape is for me. I'm not sure asymmetrical is right either, or crescent. A smaller crescent maybe. I did this shawl, and this is it. Let me show it to you. I will put it on too because it's so pretty. It's called Soul Bound, S-O-U-L-B-O-U-N-D, Soul Bound. I'll put a link below. It is asymmetrical. There is a lot of garter and lace, and guess what? I did picot binding. This shawl had a lot of firsts for me. First of all, never knit with cotton before. I never made a dish towel, a dish rag. I've never made anything with cotton before. This cotton is lovely. It has a lot of give. It doesn't hurt your hands. I loved working on it, and it was, I have a loose gauge anyway, so this was perfect for this shawl. But let me put this on for you. So I had, let's see, what were my firsts with this shawl? Cotton. Never knit with cotton before. No, this isn't a good way to wear it. It has picot edge. I've never done picot edge before. I kind of liked it. I had a little trouble with her instructions, and then I went, and there's a great tutorial on YouTube from Knit Pearl Hunter on the best way to do picot. So I followed Knit Pearl Hunter's picot bind off, and this shawl it's cotton, so I can wear it all year round. I love the color because it's nice and neutral. I love this picot edging. I think I was a picot girl. In fact, a lot of the people who know that I am not a picot edge girl, but I tell you what, I like these. I think it works with this shawl. I don't know that I would do it on every shawl. I'm a big I-cord bind off person, but this picot edge with this shawl, to me, really works. So I'm really enjoying that it's cotton, that it's cooler, and we have a wedding at the end of June up in Connecticut, and I was going to wear one of my long maxi dresses just for the rehearsal. Nothing fancy, but it looks dressy, and I'm going to wear the shawl with it because it's a black and sort of grayish print on the dress, and this shawl would be perfect to go over it because I'm one of these people that does not like to expose my arms. It's a sleeveless dress, so this shawl would be perfect. These picot edges really getting me excited. Anyway, so I'm very happy with this shawl. I'm very, very, very happy with this, and it's cotton, so perfect to wear, this time of year. Perfect to wear in air-conditioned restaurants and at the movies when you're wearing a t-shirt or something, and it's casual or dressy. I mean, you could dress it up or cash it down. I mean, I'm crazy for this shawl, so I really like it. So that's my info. Don't you think that's a lot for me, slow knitter? It's a lot, but I really, really love the shawl. Another first for me in this shawl was I steam blocked it. I got a lot of feedback because I put something out to several of my groups on Facebook, my knit groups on Facebook, saying, I'm knitting this cotton shawl. Any advice as to how to soak it and block it? Because I'd heard things like don't ever soak it in water. It'll take forever to dry. Cotton takes forever to dry. I have no idea if that's true or not. So I decided I would put it on my ironing board and steam it. I had a towel under it and was able to pin the picot edges to the towel on the ironing board with some blocking mats, and and it came out great. It came out great. Plus my blocking mats are in use. A friend of mine has them. But anyway, that's fine. So steaming it, and I did one less repeat. It called for 6 repeats of the lace and the garter and lace and the garter sections, and instead of doing 6, I did 5, and it was perfect. It fits me perfect. It's not overwhelming. So that's another lesson. So one less repeat, steam blocking, which I've never done, picot edges, which I've never done, knitting with cotton, which I've never done. So this was great, and I would do it again. In fact, Quince & Co. put out an ebook of designs for use with this yarn. I bought it because I'm definitely going to do something again next winter, so that I'll have like a spring cotton. They have like a really pretty spring cotton cardigan, which I'll probably knit. Well, it'll be on my wish list to knit. So I got like 6 patterns for 18 bucks. Not bad. And I'm really happy I did, because there's this one color of this cotton that it's like a royal blue. It's one of my boys. I had such a great lunch right before our podcast today, so maybe my voice is going, because it was a loud restaurant and we were screaming. Guess what? They comped us our lunch. There's 3 of us. It just took a long time even to get served a beverage. And so finally we had to like wave somebody like, hello, did you forget us? And they brought all these appetizers. And they said, oh no, the appetizers are on us, we're so sorry. So that's okay, no worries. And then they came back later after we finished our lunch and said, no, we're gonna bring you a dessert and we're comping the whole lunch. We're like, what? No, don't do that, not necessary. They're like, oh yes we are. We're like, okay then. We left a big tip though. All right, so back to Evo. So this is, you like it? Yeah. Then what would you do with cotton? Cotton yarn. Tell me what below. Other than dish towels or dish cloths, has anybody made anything with cotton that you love? You know, let me know below, and there may be a prize. Well, I don't know. I do have some giveaways I want to tell you about from my sock knit along and my hat knit along that's going on in my Ravelry podcast group. I have going away. It's a quarterly giveaway. So at the end of March, I gave a skein of indie dyed yarn for my sock knit along. I'm gonna give away a skein of indie dyed DK or worsted or sport for my hat knit along, which is also going on. And I'm gonna pick the winner of that. I was gonna pick a winner now, but I think I'll wait one more week. I'm gonna be unavailable. I'll be up in Connecticut at the end of the month. But I'm gonna podcast one more time, probably right before I go, because I'm gonna have a birthday giveaway. It's my birthday that weekend. July 1st is my birthday. And so I'm gonna give away, I'm gonna put a birthday package giveaway together, and I'll put that on Instagram as well. If you don't follow me on Instagram, go to my podcast Ravelry group, my Ravelry podcast group, the Slow Knitter podcast group on Ravelry, and I'll also provide the details of the giveaway there as well. So that'll be my birthday giveaway, and then I might combine that with my sock and hat giveaway. Boy, I'm losing my voice. Anyway, so yeah, cool, huh? Yeah, that will be happening next podcast. So I strongly suggest that if you are not a subscriber, that you subscribe, because it may be limited to my subscribers. Or not. I don't know, I haven't really gotten into the details. By the way, I left something out in the beginning of my podcast. I want to welcome back all of the subscribers, everybody that's visited with me before. And if you're new, welcome. I hope you enjoy this podcast and that you'll subscribe. Okay, getting on with it. Now, let me show you all the things I'm working on. I'm going to gather everything up. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. All right. I had to gather all my whips. I have a lot of them. I have a lot of whips. Just, you know, for those who know me, well, you know I can't concentrate on just one project, although the Helen Stewart shawl really had my attention. But as I said, I had been to that retreat in April, and I keep saying this over and over again. I went to a class for warm weather knits just to learn about plant-based fibers, and this was one of them that was mentioned. Another one that was mentioned was Corsica. Barocco Corsica is the name, and it is a cotton. Can you see that? Can you see that? Yeah. Cotton yarn. This was the color they had for us to try, and I loved it. I thought it was neutral pink. And as I mentioned that I had started the Helen Stewart, another Helen Stewart shawl. This is her Pebble Beach shawl, and it comes in 3 different sizes. So you can do a small one so it doesn't overtax you, which I'm going to do the small. Actually, I'm going to do something in between the medium and the small. But this is where I am. I mean, it's pretty. This pattern, talk about addictive, is so addictive. And now that I'm more familiar with how she writes her patterns and what she expects on cast on and the start of each row and the end of each row with this. And this will be crescent shape, which I like, but smaller and much more wearable. And I really love how it's sitting up. It's sitting up sort of neutrally, and it's great. So, and Barocco has a lot of great patterns for this yarn. So I strongly, if you're looking for a plant-based cotton, and because it's got about 5% cashmere in here, there's a lot more. The yarn is quite forgiving in terms of flexibility. So, you know, if you have trouble, because plant-based fibers tend to hurt your hands and I get a lot of discomfort in my hands, this is a great one to work with because it's just enough cashmere in it to give it a little give. And it really comes in a lot of beautiful colors. This one is a number. It doesn't really have a color name. 90% cotton, 10% cashmere. And it does not have a color name. 3611 is this color. And it's sort of a dusty pink. That's it. I'm just getting into more pinks and neutrals, and so I really like this. In fact, at one point I was thinking of combining them, and I might, because there are some patterns in that quince that calls for, and this is sport weight, but this is also very light. So I really love it. But I had to put it down because I was determined to finish this because I'm going to that wedding at the end of the month, and I wanted to make sure that I had this shawl for the wedding. Yeah. So I'm a big fan. The other thing I'm making, okay, so I felt like I had to redeem myself because these socks are just so wrong. Well, they're the wrong size. They're the wrong, I can't believe one is bigger than the other. I'm like, what happened? Rena's not paying attention is what happened. Goofy. Jeez. So one probably fits my husband, the other will fit me. Oh, it doesn't matter. I don't wear them out. But at one point, I think last fall, maybe last summer, I knit picks had a sale of Felici and sock yarn, and I know that a lot of people that knit socks love Felici, and I thought, all right, I'll try. Okay, I now know what the big deal is about Felici. I am knitting this sock with Felici, and I love knitting with it, so I get it finally get it. Those of you who follow me on Instagram may have seen me hold this up. I did these cup down. It's in my Lowlands original sock bag, which by the way I love and didn't realize that they matchy. Ha! Anyway, this Felici sock is just fun to knit with. I have my placeholder and for the Afterthought heel and Lifeline for Afterthought heel. I do both, Lifeline and placeholder. And I'm coming close to where I put in the toes. I was knitting on it a little bit this morning and found that I had like dropped a stitch. Yeah, I fixed it. But I fixed it. it didn't take too long getting better at finding these things and fixing them. So I should be finishing that up pretty soon. But do you think that's the only sock I'm working on? No! I am working on this by the way, I forgot to tell you, is the Vanilla Latte pattern. And I'll put a link to that pattern, and you can see it's just sort of a ribbed pattern there, all the way to the cuff, down the foot, and the back is just stuck in it. Oh, I love this colorway. The colorway is called Stone Harbor, the Fleechy. Love it. I was knitting and my husband said, oh, those are nice. He never notices that. Then, a promise I had made to Sheila Pinkston of Bigfoot Fiber, who, you probably saw this, I had this on a few episodes ago, who dyed a skein of yarn. By the way, her work is beautiful. Her dyeing is beautiful. So I strongly recommend that you check out Bigfoot Fiber. Beautiful. So she started getting to self-striping, which I love her self-striping yarn, and she dyed a skein from, I think, a photo I posted of my beach house, or the beach near my house, or something, down in Florida. And I said, oh, those are going to be next on my needles. Well, they weren't next, but now they are on my needles. I'm doing this the way I used to do my socks all the time, toe up. And I'm doing the Hermione's Everyday sock pattern that a lot of people have knit already. I do really like it. And this is the sock. Isn't it cool the way it sells stripes? So I thought it was white, but it's actually like a creamy, like a sandy color that she's got in among these blues and these pinks. And this is how it looks, how the striping is coming out. It's so wonderful and cheerful. It makes me happy. And I usually, for a while, all I was doing was toe up socks. And then I think the last 3 pairs I did cuff down. I'm back to toe up. This is the yarn. And it's just, I just love it. Now, typically, so I think this is coming along. I'm going to put the placeholder yarn in for the heel. Probably another couple of inches. I'll put that in. So typically, for those who've been around, and I'm a new sock knitter. I've only been knitting socks for a little over a year now. And I thought I got into a rhythm of doing 2 at a time on 2 different needles, so tandem. This time, because I have so many sock yarns, so much sock yarn, and so many sock blanks, I'm doing 2 at a time, different skeins, and then I'll switch. You get it? I'll get this done, I'll get this done, then I'll do the other sock and another sock. So I'll always have 2 socks. No? Sort of like when you meet somebody, oh, we're brothers from different mothers. These are socks from different skeins. Toe up, cup down. Anyway, I love doing them both. You know what? I like doing this because it sort of is a little bit of variety. I don't know how long this is going to last. I have so many sock blanks. I really am anxious to get started on that. And I thought, well, I can start one on one, one on the other. So this is my experiment to see if that actually works. So we'll see. But I'm going to do, I don't know. The next pair of socks, I've already picked out the yarn that I want to do is Tracy Miller's Galliano socks. Tracy from the Grocery Girls designed a sock pattern that's really interesting, and it's got cable and some eyelets, and it seems really interesting yet very approachable. Her pattern is really well written, so I really highly recommend, if you've not looked at it, to take a look at it. It's got cabling and eyelets. It's pretty. And I have a lot of really beautiful sort of tonal or very, very lightly speckled sock yarn that would be perfect for that. So, yeah. I'm excited about getting started on that. I was going to get started on that before I podcast, but it's not going to happen. All right. So now let's get to my sweater. Remember, I told you I was doing a sweater from Amy Herzog, her Curlew, C-U-R-L-E-W sweater, Curlew sweater. It's a cardigan, open cardigan. It's got a lot of positive ease. And I was really interested in working on an Amy Herzog design because she was on Knit Stores 2.0. I really, really enjoyed her. She was wearing this sweater while she was doing her segment on Knit Stars, and I thought, I really wanted that sweater. It looks like a real comfy sweater that I could wear a t-shirt under, a long sleeve t-shirt under. It has 3/4 sleeves, so, you know, and interesting construction for me since I've only done really one sweater top down raglan, which I love. This one starts at the left cuff, goes around, builds it back. So I thought, and it is 2 yarns held together, 2 shibui yarns. I've always wanted to knit with shibui. So one yarn is called Pebble and the other is called Staccato. And you hold, now I've not knit anything substantive that you hold, where you hold 2 yarns together. So I thought, well, I swatched and realized that I had to go down a needle size from the recommended needle size in the pattern because the smaller swatch met gauge, not the bigger swatch. And I decided to cast it on. So I'm just at the ribbing for the cuff of the sweater. Everything is flat and I think you seam everything together. So this would be what I would seam together for a cuff. I was sort of going back and forth, like maybe I don't really want to do this. There's a lot of flat knitting. It's a lot of stockinette. I'm not crazy about that kind of knitting. However, when I picked this up again this morning to take another look at it, I thought, no, I'm going to go through it. I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to rush through this. I'm going to knit it and see how it goes and where it goes. I'm not really going to give up on it yet. I don't mind knitting with the 2 yarns. So one's got a little bit more silk in it. It feels, but I imagine it'll block out really, it feels sort of thickish, but I imagine it'll block out really skinny. So I'm not that worried about it. Yeah, so I'm going to continue, but I'm really going to take my time. It's not going to be a huge priority, but I'm hoping on making some progress every time I sit down and knit with it. See, this is what I fuss with these asymmetrical shawls. So, you know, we'll see. I'll see how I like it. And I'll see how it goes. So you start with the sleeve. So there are increases and then decreases. I don't know. It'd be a challenging knit. It'd be different. And we'll see. I was looking at, well, maybe I can do something else with the staccato, or maybe I could do something else with the pebble. I thought, no, I'm gonna go through it and see how it goes. So you hold these 2 together. Yeah. And the colorway is called Cove, C-O-V-E. So it's a rich sort of jewel tone greenish color. I do like it. Yeah, it's being held in my maker's bag by Maria. Oh, I love her. Maria Elena Bliss is Maria's name. I met her in Savannah when I was there. Love this bag. It's a great sweater bag and it's so cushy. And I got some other things from her as well. So that's the status of my FOs and hose. And now I'm going to take you to the acquisition section, which is really chock full. So I've really parsed it down because there's too many things in it right now. So I'm parsing it down. All right, I'll be right back. See, I told you I have so many things that I've purchased. I was like, okay, are you going to show everything? You see me holding these? I have to put this down now. Okay, so I think I mentioned in the last podcast, I'm a big fan of Kristen of Voolenvine. So I just readjusted my shawl. I like it better this way. And my friend Teresa and I spent a lot of time together knitting. or if she's working and at a coffee shop, I'll come over and I'll knit while she would work, because she works for a company and she's able to work from home a few days a week. So I'm always, we'll meet you at the coffee shop. So we both got on this Voolenvine kick, and every time Kristen had an update, we're like, okay, what are we buying? So I bought a whole bunch of Voolenvine, and I have others, and I think I'm gonna make the Galliano socks, the Tracy Miller socks, from a skein of Voolenvine that I had in my drawer from my Voolenvine buying last year. So we were on this kick to buy all of her dark yarns. So I bought Dirty on Purpose, which is just a beautiful blend of grays. And it's on her footsie base, which is super wash, blue face Leicester and 20%, 80% blue face Leicester, 20% nylon, and it's just gorgeous. And this will go with so many other of my lighter blues or browns or darker grays, and I thought this would be so lovely with those Galliano socks, because I think it would really show off the cabling and the eyelets. So that's my, probably I will cast on these. I also, and for a long time I was trying to get her Smitten when she dyes it. This is actually Smitten DK, which I really, really like, and I probably will use because I want to do another Stephen West project, a DK version of Dotted Rays or one of his other Shawls designs. So this is Smitten DK. It is simply gorgeous and not an overly heavy DK. It has a really little nice halo. It's an MCN. It's merino cashmere nylon, and it's 4-ply DK, so it's gonna knit up really, really lovely. Could be a hat. I don't know. Give a hat. Knit along, people. No, I can't. Yeah. And then I also got Grim. I've been wanting her colorway Grim for a long time, but the only one she had, the update that I was able to get stuff on. As you know, it's not easy to get stuff from her. I did get blitzed, and I've worked with her blitzed before on my Passeggiata shawl from Woolenberry last year. And this is merino, nylon, and stellina. And I don't know if it's picking up, yeah, it's picking up the little gold stellina. Again, this is dark color, and it's her Grim, which is sort of blackish gray. I was just fascinated with these colors as accent colors, or even by itself, but you can see that even these two would be a great combination. And since Teresa's insisting on teaching me brioche, she's a self-taught brioche person, I might venture into Stephen West land with that. I don't know. Anyway, I've gotten some more, some other Voolenvine, which I'll save for my next podcast, but those I wanted to share with you because they're really, really lovely. Hard to get. You have to be right at her shop update, right on the time that she says it starts. Log in, get your yarn, check out immediately, go back and see what else is left, because even between the time you check out that one skein that you got and you go back to get more, some of them might be gone. It's that fast. She's very, very popular. The other yarn that I got, I've been keeping my eye out for this for a long time. It's sort of the same thing that happens with Kristen's Yarns. This is a friend of mine that I met through my International Virtual Knit Night group. She's very, very well known in the UK, even here. Her name is Grace O'Neill, and she is Babbles Traveling Yarns, and she does. She's in healthcare. Her full-time job is in healthcare, and she dyes a lot and goes to a lot of shows. She has her own retreat. I mean, she's very, very special. Grace is very, very special. And we found ourselves alone on IBKN several months ago, and we just chatted, and I really feel like I have a kinship with Grace. And she had an update. After her she's just been on a dying tear. She was displaying at Woolen, Dublin, and I wanted to make sure that after she got back and she had an update, that I was there to get it, and I did, and I'm so thankful that I got it because I love it. And I sort of wanted to go for lighter colors because I have so many darker color yarns. And since I'm sort of in a pink phase, I thought I would go for more neutrally pink. And she had it. This is what I got. Can you see it? There's her label. Babbles Traveling Yarn. Is that what it's called? No, Babbles Yarn by Grace O'Neill. She's actually from Limerick, but she displayed at Woolen, Dublin. This is the colorway called Thorns, and it is 100 grams, and it's 60% muslin-free merino, 25% bamboo, and 15% nylon. So it could be a sock yarn. I don't know that I would do that. I would probably combine this with something in a sweater or a shawl or something. It is really squishy, and she's a very special person. Anyway, I'm a big fan of Grace's on several fronts. And then I got another one, of course. And she calls it Babbles Yarns Global Inspiration. So cool. This one is called Orchid. It's also the same base, 60% muslin-free merino, 25% bamboo, 15% nylon. It's not that different from the other one, but it has some different colors in it compared to Orchid, which is a little bit more pinky. This is a little bit more gray. I mean, they could all go together, don't you think? So pretty. Okay. The last thing I'm going to show you two more. I'm only going to show you a little bit more. Last July, I was down at the beach, July 2017. I was down at the beach, and in walks this adorable, beautiful young woman, and I was sitting there knitting by myself at the yarn shop, and she walked in and bought this really fun yarn called, I forgot what it was called, but it had a unicorn theme. Her name is Kathleen, and she was moving back to Atlanta from the Virginia area, and she was all excited, and we said we'd keep in touch and all that. So we follow each other on Instagram. Well, Kathleen at the time was going to work for a big hospital in the pastoral care area. She's a pastor. And she is probably one of the fastest knitters I've seen. And she has excellent taste and follows and does beautiful work very quickly and follows all the top designers. Fast forward to about the middle of this year, well, late last year, she started to dye yarn. She was curious about the whole dyeing process. She got hooked. She is now on a sabbatical. She has her own yarn brand called Republica Unicornia. And she said, and since her parents live not far from where my beach house is, she gets to go to the beach. And she's inspired a lot by the same things that inspire me at the beach. We also go to the same yarn store here in town called, it's a new yarn store called The Craftivist. It's in an area of Inman Park, which is sort of an in-town, very hip area of Atlanta. And she is selling her yarn there. And she brought a bunch of yarn. They sold out of it so fast because everyone loves. She's a local dyer for them. People come from out of town. She has incredible colorways. She's a talent, and she's young, and she's making project bags. I mean, keep your eyes out for Kathleen, sorry. There's another Catherine there. There's Catherine there, Kathy, and there's Kathleen. Kathleen from Republica Unicornia. Follow her on Instagram. and see her stuff. So she dyed a colorway that's reminiscent of the beach where her parents live and where I have my house. And it's actually, there's a road that runs along the Gulf that's called 30A. And she she created a skein, a colorway called 30A. Yeah. Look at it. Let me have you concentrate on her label. Republica Unicornia. This is stunning. This is almost the color of the water down there. The color of the water is this really like Caribbean bluish green. It is gorgeous because it's just white sand underneath the blue water. She dyed 30A, and as soon as when I saw it on Instagram, I about had a conniption. I was like, oh my God, I love that. So she so kindly gifted me this yarn. So keep your eye out for Kathleen, Republica Unicornia. This is a 30A color. Shouldn't stop there though. I think I love her. No, I know I love her. Then she threw in, I thought I was just going to get a skein of 30A, and I was so appreciative of that. No, she also gifted me this beautiful skein of what she's calling Starry Night. Oh, it is an MCN, merino cashmere nylon. It is stunning. I mean, just look at this blues and the golds. I mean, it is breathtaking, seriously breathtaking. This would be a beautiful shawl. I mean, just look at these colors in there. Just look, I'm trying to get behind it so you can see. Republica Unicornia. Keep an eye out for her, people. Keep an eye out for her. And she's really into making project bags. And when she posted this on Instagram, I thought, oh, it's so adorable. The sunglasses also remind me of the beach. It's drawstring, which I love. It's got really a cute inside. Thank you very much, Kathleen. I just love it. Sunglasses are so fun. This is a great small project bag for, I don't know, everything I make. You know, I love project bags. I love them. Republica Unicornia. Give her a follow, please, on Instagram. Keep up with what she's doing. She's young, she's new. They are having a trunk show for her at the Craftivist, where she is she's been dyeing like crazy. She loves tonals. I love tonals, so I'll be there tomorrow to, I'm sure, purchase more. Who knows what I'm gonna work? I don't know. I need more blue. Love blue yarns. Anyway, so yay, Kathleen. Excuse me, that's lunch. Speaking of project bags, again, I have a few faves, and my new fave, is the Maria. I'm sorry, it's in here. I just know her by Maria, and Maria Elena Bliss. She always writes little notes to me. So she lives in Florida, writes little notes, which I love. Thank you so much for your support. She has amazing attention to detail in her project bags. They're always quilty. I saw this on Instagram and I thought, oh, I like it. And it's got this great pocket outside that snaps. And then she's very big on this, and I'm so appreciative. She also includes like little notions bags with little cute little handles, and lines it really well. I mean, look at the lining. There's a pocket inside. It's actually not a pocket outside. I thought it was, but it's not. It's just a snappy thing. I imagine that you can put things in here and it won't fall out. Really, her attention to detail is like spectacular. So this is my third project bag. But since I'm not monogamous, I need a lot of project bags for my many projects that I do at one time. Okay, moving on. Also, give her a follow. She's really, and so nice. I mean, like, who isn't nice in our community? Everyone is so nice. But I always save her notes. I save everybody's notes. I just love them. I think all right, let me tell you about my adventure. So, you know, I'm a sock knitter. You know, I love my Destin Yarn Shop. And I picked up, Carol had some Addy Flexi Flips that I'd heard about, right? Everyone's been talking about it. You've seen a whole bunch of tutorials on a whole bunch of tutorials from Very Pink Knits to everyone's doing reviews on this. I got home, I tried them on right away. You know how they work. When I first tried them, I was really into them. I thought, this is so cool. There's a blunt edge, there's a pointy edge, and this is size 1, but it's 2.5 millimeters, not 2.25. I had to figure out what the difference is. I mean, the 2.5 is, I guess, a little bit, that would make sense. Anyway, and they started to work. I was getting the hang of it. I thought, you know what, this feels faster than Magic Loop because you don't have to do this whole thing and put it back. Then I put it down. Then I came back to it, picked it up. It was almost like I forgot how to do them. It was the strangest thing. And I was holding on so tight to try to figure out how to do it that my hands ached for days after it. I thought, no, I'm not giving up on these. I'm going to try it again, maybe on a smaller project so I can get the hang of it. I can see they serve a purpose. If you're doing the crown of a hat or you're doing mitts, I can see the purpose to this. This would not be the right size for that. I would have to get, you know, usually I do hats on size 8 or size 7 needles, size 5, 6, 7, 8 needles. I would have to get that to do the crown. I'm not giving up on these. I'm just saying that when I first started them, I really got into them. I posted that I love them. And then seriously, literally, like the next day when I picked it up to continue the project, I like lost it. I was like, wait a minute. Ow! I was holding on so tight. I was, I've abandoned that and put the socks on Magic Loop. Love Magic Loop. So I think I'm going to come back to these when I have a little bit more patience and I can hold it in a more relaxed grip. So that's Addy Flexi Flips. Not now, but later. Definitely want to try it. I think I also forgot to show you. I met Maria from Ninja Chickens. Please watch her podcast. It's so great. And she does a lot of natural dyeing using plant-based stuff from around her home in Asheville, North Carolina. And I ordered one of her sock blanks. I think I saw Grace from Babbles knitting a sweater or knitting something out of one of Maria's sock blanks. I thought, that is so cool. I want to try that. So I did get, and what she does is she presses leaves, I don't know if you can see that, onto these damp sock blanks, and then presses other, I don't know what she does. Anyway, I think she had one of her podcasts showed how she does it. I've seen other knitters knit this up, and it is beautiful. I thought, oh, I might have to get that one. So I did get this from Maria. Thank you, Maria. I love it. It is a single sock blank. It is not a double one. You can see, you see that leaf? That's a leaf that she pressed onto that. It's amazing. I just love it. And there's a whole bunch of very holistic very environmentally sensitive members of our IVKN group. Mars from Hey Brown Berry, very, very sustainable kind of maker. Really, really very cool. So, Maria, Ninja Chicken, very cool. Very cool. And last, you know that I'm a member of Loops. Yay, Loops! Tulsa, Oklahoma. Shelly is the owner, and I'm a member of their yarn club, which I get quarterly yarn. This time, this is from Ba. I think most of you are familiar with Ba. I was not. Ba wool. And this is a merino cashmere nylon, 330 yards, 100 grams, and it's called Niagara Mist. Is this not spectacularly gorgeous? I think I have a project in mind for this because I think it would just be beautiful. So, and again, these aren't really totally my colors, but I've been surprising myself this year because I've been knitting with a lot more pastels, and yeah, this is cool. Ba, and it's from Aspen. It's called Niagara Mist. Once again, this is her label. I'm doing a bad job showing labels today. Yeah. Ba. And this is MCN. Merino, no, I'm sorry. No. I totally fibboed. It's merino silk cashmere. Ho ho! It is squishy. You know, it's got to be something. But all sorts of blues and blacks and greens. I've been really into greens this year. So I'm into everything this year. What am I not into? I'm into everything. Okay. I think that's it. I've also been trying to organize. Hey, I've been trying to organize my stash. I have so much flippin' stash. I'm trying to take it easy, but then I find myself buying more. Because, well, first, you know, as you know, I curate yarn, add to my collection, and Hohi, one of her classes in Savannah in April, I didn't go to this class, but some friends of mine did, and they actually said, and I think I did an Insta story on this morning, Hohi suggests you organize your stash by color. Not by fiber type, necessarily. So you get decay and worsted, fingering, all that in there, but by color. I thought that was interesting. I've never even considered that. I did wind some yarn, and I probably shouldn't have because I was like losing labels. So I ended up cleaning out that drawer and just put the wound yarn in it with, I found all the labels I need to find, put them in the appropriate slot. And then I'm going to put the skeins somewhere else. So that, I'm just putting this away because I'm trying to find my clicker. Yeah. So I'm going to try that. But now that we're not selling the house, I'm going to have a little bit more flexibility with where I store yarn. First, I'm going to go to Container Store and get those big buckets. And maybe do it by then, or use some of the shelves that I have here and just put them up on the shelves, like by color. I'm not sure that's a bad idea. Laura, who is the Crocheting Hoovian, hi Laura, so she does it by design, by dyer and weight. I think that's what she said. I'll have to check. So if you have any good ideas to have stored, I mean, at one point I was just storing single skeins of indie dyed yarns or sweater quantities of yarn. I still may do the sweater quantities separate. I don't have a lot of that. I have maybe 4 different yarns that are sweater quantity. I don't know. Anyway, it's a big mess over there. So I have to figure that out. So that's my task, to get it all laid out together, because I know there's yarn hiding that I need to bring out of hiding. But in that drawer, I have all the wound yarn with its appropriate label, so I know. I have a lot of La Bien Aimée, I have a lot of Hedgehog, so I know what's in that drawer. Now I just have to find a space for all these other things if they're not spoken for for a project. Yikes, it's a lot of work. Busy chatter, not too much, just, since we've been home from the beach. We made the decision to take the house off the market. Everybody that's come here finds something wrong. We're on a busy street. Our yard is mostly is a beautiful yard, but it's a lot of pea gravel with landscaping around it rather than grass, because if you have dogs and they pee on grass, you're gonna have a lot of spots. I have 2 big dogs. They're gonna pee all over the grass, and this is why I pulled out the grass and put in pea gravel, because I did some research about yards for dogs, and a lot of it is gravel and beautiful landscaping around it. I have beautiful landscaping around it, but when people who have younger children see it, all they see is the children falling and hurting themselves. So that's okay. I'm not going to do anything about it. We do need to replace the driveway. The driveway needs to be replaced. So we've contracted with somebody who will replace the driveway at the end of July. Happy that's going to be done. And just some small appliance updates for the kitchen, which we're going to do. And that's it. I mean, we're just going to, I don't know, maybe we'll put it back on the market next spring. Maybe we won't. I don't know. It's not an awful place. It's a pretty darn nice place to live. So it's just a little bit too much for us. But, cross one bridge. If it was meant to be, it would have sold. Not meant to be right now. So we're not going to fight it. Taking it off. It will be free from that. Other than that, everything is well. It's, hot here in Atlanta. It's always hot in June. It'll be a hot summer, I think. But that's okay. I don't mind. Stay inside. Go out with friends. I did find a very cool little reading, knitting spot. I think I'm going to keep that place to myself, so I can go by myself and just knit and have a cup of tea, sit out on the porch, not talk to anybody, not have any knitty friends with me. It's my own secret place. Okay, other than that, if you haven't been watching, National Geographic has a series called Genius. Last year they did Einstein. This year they're doing Picasso. It's fantastic. I love it. Who plays Picasso? Oh God, he's doing an incredible job. I mean, every acting. It's done by Ron Howard and Brian Grazer, who are great directors and producers. Anyway, it's great. So find it and watch it. I'm not watching anything good on Netflix or anything yet. So, okay, that's all for today. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you to my loyal subscribers. I love you. If you've not subscribed, I'm very close to 1,000, so I'm trying to get over that hump. 1,000 subscribers, and that would be a great birthday present for me. Want to give me a birthday present? Subscribe to my channel. Okay, everyone, enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you very soon. Bye, everyone.